Anthony Obi here. I want to ask you a question. Have you had the experience of launching your product or service or a coaching program or something like that and expected big sales, but in the end of the entire campaign, you ended up with few, if any, sales at all? Man, that's a lot of fun, right? It really sucks. You understand. That's been your experience. You're not alone. If you're relaunching, retooling your sales funnel, or you're planning a launch coming up, I want to help you. I want to help you with 3 particular elements that you need to include to create a truly magnetic sales message and sales presentation for your offer to make sure that you sell. I have been responsible for many 5, 6, and 7-figure launches online, playing super background, been super behind the scenes, and now I'm wanting to come out and share with you the things that have helped me be successful with creating campaigns for my clients. The first thing that I always do whenever I approach a sales message or a sales presentation or writing a sales page that I'm writing or a webinar script that I'm writing or a VSL script that I'm writing is I try to picture a particular thing and a particular aspect about the target audience. And that is the fact that that audience is skeptical. It's really important for you to remember and keep in mind that your audience wants to buy from you. That's right. They want to buy from you. You've got thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of people right now who would buy your product or your service or join your coaching program, join your mastermind group, utilize your freelance services right now. But here's the thing. They don't yet realize that they need your solution. They are skeptical. And that's important, actually, a defensive mechanism that they have built in, that we all as humans have built in. It's important for us to be skeptical. It's an important aspect for us to protect ourselves from all of the untrustworthy people that are in the marketplace. And it's important to protect ourselves from having just a loose credit card where we're just buying every single thing that is marketed and advertised to us. So we have to protect ourselves in that way. All of us do. And your audience is no different. They are skeptical because they don't know you yet. And so it's your job to create that know, like, and trust factor. And I'm going to share with you 3 elements that you have to include and you have to focus on in your sales presentation in order to maximize conversions. So those 3 elements are quite easily the big idea, value proposition, and urgency. These are 3 elements that you need to focus heavily on in your sales presentation, but also in your marketing campaign overall. Because whenever you build out a campaign that includes a full stack campaign, that includes advertising, that includes social and organic posts, that includes landing page copy, maybe a freebie that you're giving away, and then you're delivering a webinar presentation or sending people to a tripwire offer or something like that, or you're trying to get people to register for an event and upsell them to the paid ticket or anything like that that you're doing a full campaign, and then you do a follow-up emails. I always start off at least with the actual thing that I'm trying to sell. So I start off with the sales page where it has the core offer that I'm ultimately wanting people to buy. I start there because all of the work that I'm going to do in focusing on the big idea, developing the value proposition, creating urgency, and all of the other elements, all of the other hot button triggers that I include in the sales message is going to all be there in that sales message. And then from there, I'll go and I'll take elements out of that to create the landing page for the freebie. I'll take elements out of that to create copy for social media posts and for ads that I'm going to place. And for short videos that I'm going to produce and blogs that I'm going to create and emails that I'm going to write. All of those things come from the actual sales presentation, whether it be on the sales page or the webinar script or whatever. That's the core of the campaign. Now, let's talk about the big idea. The big idea is the unifying, compelling concept It sets the theme or frame of mind that you want your prospect to be in for the rest of the presentation. So it sets the hook for your entire presentation that you have. Now, the big idea of your offer comes out in the headline of a sales page. It comes out in the title of a webinar or a presentation or a virtual summit or an in-person event. It can come out in the actual title. It can come out in the opening statement in your sales console call. So the big idea really sets the tone for what is to come in the rest of your presentation, regardless of the format that we're talking. Okay. Now the big idea has to speak directly to the goal and or the desire of your target audience. It has to speak to their goal, the number one goal, their big goal. It has to speak to their desire. Now, the big idea needs to speak to those things and also needs to speak to the number one pain point that they want to avoid. You need to speak to the number one objection that they may have regarding your solution. If you're promising to help them achieve a specific result, you may anticipate some immediate objection that they'll come up with. If you can anticipate an objection that they would have or a common pain point that they normally experience when trying to achieve the result that you're trying to help them achieve, then you want to address that right in your headline of your sales page. You want to address that even in your webinar title. Achieve this goal while avoiding this. All right. So that's how you can easily go about crafting a solid big idea. So last thing I'll say about the big idea, a good question that I always ask is, what end result is possible through your solution? That's the question I always ask to help me start to train my mind to think of and craft a big idea for a presentation or for a sales page. All right. Now, let's move on to number 2. We talked about the big idea. The next element that you want to focus on developing for any sort of sales presentation is your value proposition. Now, the value proposition is going to be a good portion of your presentation, especially when it comes to actually laying out the features and the benefits of your solution. That's the best way to think about a value proposition, is that it is a promise of value. Yeah, it's important to sell benefits. Absolutely. You sell the sizzle, not the steak. Absolutely important to focus on selling benefits and the outcomes that they hope to achieve. But those outcomes can only be achieved if you have solid features. So they work hand in hand, right? You have to have solid features in order to justify the promises that you're making of the benefits they're going to enjoy. They will be able to figure out how they're going to enjoy all these benefits in their mind, all these outcomes and these results that they're going to get if we don't have solid features that are included that's going to justify that price. And that's another element. Features and benefits make up your value proposition, but so does the science behind or the methodology behind that makes your solution work better. If you don't do that, then there's going to still be that objection in their mind. Well, this is just like that. That is just like this. And they're going to make comparisons to other product solutions out there. No, you want to eliminate all other options but your option. And you can do that easily if you do the work of sharing the science behind your solution that makes it work better than anything else out in the market. Super important to crafting a great value proposition that sets you apart in the market. The last element that I want to talk about is urgency. Urgency is critical. It's a critical aspect of your campaign from start to finish. From the very first post that you make or the ad that they see, you need to be driving and communicating on the back end of that urgency. It does not just mean using a countdown timer, for instance. It also means that you've done a great job at your research so that you know that you are right on the nail head of their pain points with your messaging, that you're addressing the issue that is currently driving them crazy, right? and that you are sharing a solution that will work for them to fix their problem, their biggest problem right now. You can put out their fire right now if they buy your product or service. And so that's the broader aspect of urgency that I want to communicate to you here, is that it does include countdown timers and things like that on your sales page. It does mean that your offer expires at some point very soon, or it does mean that there's only X number of seats, and that's scarcity, of course. And I'm talking about, it does mean that we include scarcity in order to get them to buy now so they don't miss out. Yes, that's true. But it also means that at a very high level, in our core level, we're speaking directly to them. Because when we're speaking directly to them, we're talking about something that's inherently urgent. They want to solve their problem. And that's why I said earlier, they want to buy from you. They just don't know it yet. And so in your sales presentation, if you do a great job at setting a strong hook, a big idea that addresses their number one goal, their number one desire, and also shows them how they can avoid the pain that is so common in their experience, then you're going to do a good job of setting a big idea. If you do a value proposition and you lay out all the features of your solution, as well as the benefits that they are able to achieve through those features and experience in their life through those features, as well as like how it works, if it's a physical product or an event or something like that, or a service, how it works, show them behind the scenes, show them what steps you're going to follow to help them achieve that goal that you're promising, that big idea hook that you're promising. Also sharing the science behind all these things make up the value proposition. And then finally, carrying through, addressing the number one pain point, urgency is going to be inherent in an offer that speaks to their pain points, that speaks to where they are right now, what they're thinking about right now. It's going to inherently create urgency to take action. But then, yes, you also then want to close out your sales presentation with a time-specific limit on being able to have access to all of the features, all the benefits, all of the bonuses that you're offering in your offer. And even if the essential core offer doesn't end, maybe that's why you add bonuses in that you can take away, things that they will want to have, things you can take away if they don't take action at a specific time that is very soon, so that you can get paid now, not later, right? Listen, I hope that's been super helpful to you. If you want to learn more about this topic, I definitely recommend that you go to our website, lifeinlaunches.com, and that you join my free 6-day course called Time to Breakthrough. You're going to love it. It's 6 days. It's 3 hours. It's all about crafting a magnetic message and a campaign that sells.